Welcome back, fellow mayors, to Fisher Enclave City. In the previous episode, we started to populate in the final big island. This cozy riverbank district features a monorail station for the tile-to-tile transportation, while we use buses for our within-tile travel. This district also features a second level with the use of keys with stairs from the Bridges and Piers content creator pack. However, before we expanded to this area, we only had 77,000 population, and after the build, we zoned so many high-density residents, but we only grew up to 6,000 more residents. My goal before ending the series is to reach at least 100,000 population, and we are currently just at 83,000. And we only have this piece of land left to fill in our 9 vanilla tiles. This area is not included because I want to create a nature reserve around the built-in ruins in the map. This is Captain Obvious, and today we will expand and grow our city in the late game. Usually, the process of expansion is to start with your interchange and build your road network. But we do not do that here. We do not build roads, we create a journey. That all starts with your transportation network. Therefore, we will expand our territory starting with the train station and build outwards. To create that journey feel, we will focus on placing ploppable buildings near or within the view of our train route. Other things to keep in mind are the transportation within this new district, and just like in the cozy riverbank, which is in the lower level, we will be utilizing buses for this new district. I mentioned that we need at least 17,000 more population, and yet we are building a parkish-like area. That is still very much true that we need more population, but I am not just going to make cramped grids for zoning efficiency. We still need a sense of variety, and to make your overall city look aesthetically pleasing, it is necessary to mix in park areas with your generic zoning. This view that I am creating will be focused from the train station, looking at the Pyramid of Safety, the assets around it, and beyond. It appears that we have hit the border, which is the keys with stairs, and from here, we have to remember to add in our arterial road, which will connect to the highway interchanges. Also from this end, I will set up our bus stop and plop down the administration building for the campus. These may be campus assets, but we are not utilizing them as a university. Instead, I am using them as ploppable buildings. We definitely do not have enough space to add in a full campus, but we are going to use the best structures it can provide. We pretty much have completed the center point for our journey, and we'll go into finer detailing later. But for now, we can focus on where our residential zone blocks will be. There are 2 reasons why I repeatedly emphasize to suggest on creating a journey by your train routes. The first reason, of course, is to make the commute a pleasant visual experience. And the second and most important reason is the fact that trains, monorail, and metro stations emanate an unbearable noise pollution for any residents nearby. Therefore, it is only logical to zone or place down buildings that are not affected by noise pollution. We are basically hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. Not only are our aesthetic buildings used to create a journey, but they also serve as sound buffers for our nearby residents. Okay, so we have created our residential blocks, and now let's take a closer look. So I want to start off from here because we want the power to jump all the way there. So everything is all set up. Look how that neatly placed. So I will start with our transportation, which is a priority every time. So I'm gonna put it right here, and I'm actually gonna put the other one on the other side to ensure that the power really jumps. There you go. And these nodes are actually wrong, so I'm gonna redo this. Okay, that looks about right. So now we don't ever have to worry about power. The next step is, of course, to provide that connection. So I am going to be using a toll booth just to try to keep it consistent, where we have a toll booth on every interchange, or as much as possible. Not really consistent the entire time. So we have some spacing issues. So I have to readjust this. Looks a little janky, but that's not too bad at all. Okay, so now we have people who are able to drive in, and so we've done pretty much mild detailing. And the next step is to always look at this, the demands of the city. So always cater to that. So I'm gonna start zoning in our first residential blocks, and always try to go from left to right. So there, and I'm also going to start anticipating the needs for commercials. I'm gonna start putting this in. Actually, I should stop a bit because I have not determined the type of district this should be. So let's paint that in. So this, I'll create this whole thing, then I'll determine what type of zoning will be in this area. Okay, that looks like a hot mess because I have zones on top of zones, but I should be fixing that, but it's invisible, so I kind of ignore it. In any case, so, and I can't see my thing because it's hidden, so let's show that. Okay, there we are. Where is it? Oh, it's here. No, it's not. There it is. So this, we will make this into local and organic produce. We are also going to make this just regular residential European buildings, but we will also add in IT cluster. So this will be for later. And let me think. That's probably it. And the other zone type that I want to do, so this middle area is going to be European, while on the outside here, I don't want to go too much on Euro. We are going to make this side into self-sufficient residence, into this one. So here, and then we are also going to make this, let's go to policies. We are going to make this, we're going to remove the automated, I think it's in city planning. There, automated toll. So these toll booths are not meant to just to generate money. That's never our concern. It is just for, you know, just an added aesthetic building. So that goes the same for this side. So I'm going to create another new district and pretty much do the same thing. Okay, so that again, IT cluster, local and organic produce, and this time I'm gonna put self-sufficient buildings. And for the policies, we're gonna turn on the automated toll. Okay. All right, so all of that is all set in, and we have our residents, our first residents to come in. And now I'll zone the next one. So notice how I actually used that time to do all that zoning, because all of this is going to be residents, but you notice I didn't like zone the whole thing residents right away. No, you should wait, because that's how your death wave will generate. So kind of zone one block and then move on, do something else. So this area, I want to zone this into like perfect four, what do you call this? 4 nodes? No, it's not a color. Does anyone know what these are called? But you can see that there are cracks, and that it's cracked because the key actually created its own thing and kind of wrecked this area. But to fix that, this is kind of like why I use fences. When I create this fence, so notice this, the cracks on those, and it fixes it. So this is why I use this every now and then. Yep, so that there's perfect grid or whatever that is called. Someone help me. Whatever that's called. Yeah, that's fine. And now I'll zone in some of our local and organic produce. We'll kind of mix it up here. Kind of random locations. And while we're at it, it's time to actually make this function. So to make people go up and down the key. So you notice there's some people walking on them already, but they're not walking upwards. So all you need to do is use this and turn off snapping, so you can like actually go over that. So go over and then go as far as possible. And also notice that you have to do it where there are crosswalks. So these are strategical, so I can create this so that they would actually cross. There's more than one reason why I oh man, this thing won't go in. Try this side. Nope. Will not behave. There you go. Sometimes maybe it was a little too in deep, but if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. Well, at least it's working here. There you go. We got some people walking. They're gonna go down here eventually. Yep, there you go. They went down. So it is functional. And of course, you know, we can decorate this, but I don't want to get too deep into decorating because of course I want growth. The type of player that enjoys the growth and city management aspect of the game. And second would be detailing. So we're just gonna create some minor, just to give an idea of how it's going to look like. There you go. You see some people walking down. Always like the best feeling where it actually functional, and we did not use any special mods. Just you know, understanding the game. So if you play on console, this will actually work. There you go. That looks pretty decent, right? I also mixed in these things, so it's not just all trees or going up and down. There's a doggy. Very, very nice. Okay. I could also plant trees here, but we're not going to do that now. We want to focus on growth. All right. So that is built in. And you notice that these buildings, like I mentioned many times, where I delete these things. Those with like a flat back or things that are not the same. For example, this thing, right? This is out of place for these, while these buildings here, I will make them historical because they have windows on the inside, which is what you want. Well, these things with the flat back, no, we do not want those. So that's why I make them historical. So that's why I do. So it will look like this instead. So you got like inner courtyard. All right, so I'm gonna, but for now I'm not gonna do that too much. We just want to keep growing. So since I zoned these guys, we need to like balance that by adding more commercial. So this is pretty like tightly snug with the key, and I want to make it a little different on this side. So therefore, ooh, my snapping is off, so back on. I want to make sure there are 4 whatchamacallit. You need to know the name. And so now we have a little variety. So from here it's really snug, while this one has more distance. That will create a little sense of something different. And from here, this one is fairly simple. All I need to do is just reconnect this. So pause and use the 2-lane road with monorail. There you go, and reconnect that monorail so as it wasn't broken at all. And there we are. So this is where I'm going to be placing my commercial. Let's keep it on ×3 speed. I want to keep this moving all the time. What do we do? Yeah, let's connect this. Make sure that this side of the road is functional. So if you notice, this cracked, and that's not favorable. We want this to be completely straight as much as possible. So I'm going to I mean, this side doesn't really matter, so it's this one that we want to clean. So I'm gonna pause, actually delete, and I want it to be perfect. So that didn't work. We'll extend it ever so slightly, and it looks like it's from here. Of course, it hits that node because it's City Skylines, and I think I need to read completely. It really needs to be on that node. Okay, that looks pretty good. You can just delete this because this is less. There you go. So it cracked here, which is fine, and this one can just. So notice how I'm redoing the entire road because I want this to be a smooth curve, as smooth as possible. This. Okay, ×3 speed. Okay, so our demands is still for more commercial, so this is set. And what do I do about this? So as I mentioned, I wanted this to be perfect where there are no cracks so that I could do this. So basically I have 5, what is this called? 5 squares, 5 zoned areas, so that I could place the 4 zones on this side, and this will be the blank space for my tree, my fence with trees. That's basically the idea. And then of course connect this. Oops, pause that. Okay. Oh, this one cracked. This is actually that's fine, not too bad. And now I can connect this way. Let's see, should I connect it from here? I think this one's a good connection right here. I don't want it to be here, to be close together. You want some distance between your interchanges, especially on your arterials. So for example, this is actually kind of a bad thing. So I'm going to switch this on one side and this one, so that it's actually good to have more of 3-way intersections than 4. 4 is like a traffic trap, so you can just try to avoid that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that is the cause for traffic. I'm just suggesting that you should have less 4-ways, but it doesn't mean that grids don't work. They still will function, and you won't have like major traffic because of grid. Oh man, I'm not explaining that. In any case, let's continue to build. All right, there you go. So we got more residents to fill in. Yeah, let's start doing this side. So I created this. So this is our template, basically. So then I know what space that's needed for our fountain. So this makes things different. So for example, from the original area right here. No, let me remove that. We don't need those things to appear anymore. Actually, should I turn off the names? The names is distracting. That's kind of like why I favor this mod. For example, this, right? My courtyard, I'm using the typical city park. As you notice, I've placed it there, but it becomes a little redundant, right? Because there's only so many city park assets that you can use. Not empty. So on this side, since we have the campus assets, I'm using it here so that it looks slightly different. So that's why you don't just be stuck with one method. So I know that these are campus assets, but that doesn't mean you always have to make a campus all the time. That's how you can create something new, by making something different. All right, let's connect this together. I could actually just, should I make this into parks? Nah, we don't really need park gate. That's not necessary. Okay, so now it's actually important to start making these historical, because if they become level 5 or a higher level, and they are not the right building that you want, like for example this one, it will change every now and then, but if it becomes level 5 and it's not the building that you like, and when you demolish it, you actually killed off a lot of people. As much as possible, make them historical as soon as possible. And notice how I'm making it historical while killing time so that this will build up, and I'm not like zoning too many things at the same time. Alright, so while we wait for all those zoning to fill in, so even though I know where I want to zone, again, I mentioned you do not want to zone too much, and the reason for that is pretty much the reason why. Like for example, if you notice, like why don't I have any residential demand? Why don't I have any commercial or whatever demand? That's because you overzoned, and basically the game is just waiting for everything to fill in. So they are basically on queue. So it's not that you don't have any residential demand, because they are building. So this is why you should gradually zone things, not the whole thing at one time, even though you know where they are going to. And so while we're waiting, oh, actually, yeah, we got a lot of residential demand. People really want to move in. This side, and that was a cool year that just finished. I'm tempted to just keep zoning, but of course, let's not do. So with our time, the thing that I'm missing right now are services. We have transportation set up, but we don't have any services around. So, for example, I always like to start with the elder care building, elder and child care. I got one here. You can see the circumference around it. So I'm gonna place the other one here. It's okay if it overlaps the other one, completely fine. So what I'm looking at is how the circle is in this area. It even affects that area. So we may want to have one here eventually, because these areas here will also be, you really need that 100k pop just for our personal goal to be fulfilled. Even if we don't reach 100k pop, that's completely fine. It was just a personal goal, but not a absolute objective. But it will be nice if. Okay, so we got that in this. So you notice this is not a square grid, and it also has cracks, which I do not mind at all. That is because this, we actually zoned this as a high density self-sufficient building. So I am going to make a different type of area. Let's try to divide this. Mapping is off, so there's not actually a lot of area. Notice what I'm looking at is the space in between, like how much space there is. Yeah, there's not a lot we can, which is fine. I mean, it doesn't have to be an elaborate design, as long as we are able to zone things into. Okay, I think that works. Yeah, it's very simple, and places like this you could always like squeeze in like a cemetery to help fill that gap, right? So large gaps is actually a good thing. You can plant trees, you can put like large buildings, or even your service buildings. So for example, this side, so we have this little gap here. I could like squeeze in a station if I wanted to, but let me see more appropriate location for that. There doesn't seem to be. All of this is pretty much reserved for commercial. All right, let's start fixing this. I want to zone high densities, but I will use selective zoning. So I'm gonna put one here. I want it to be like 4x4, but I'm looking at the cracks in this time. So there, here, 2x2, I'm gonna avoid those. 4x4 and 3x3 is a zone choice for these type of buildings. So the spaces in between, actually just going to put down a pedestrian path. Oops. And put it on this side. So unfortunately, that can't go through there. Let's put up a... No, this won't work. I don't want to put that in. Yeah, just put a commercial for those tiny 2x2. You know, actually, I think an office zone would work. Let's try this out. I haven't really tried this. This quarter circle buildings, I really don't like. It seems out of place where everything else is squared. So those I de-zone almost immediately. There, and then we're gonna put this. Yep, looking nice. And here, I think we'll make that into office. So this is a 4x4, a 4x3. Here we have space for a pedestrian path. And there. Okay, that looks good. So now we can just squeeze this in. Okay, the buildings don't look half bad actually. All right, I am pleased with that. So let's just continue zoning. Okay, I like how these buildings turned out. Whoa, I've never seen these together. They actually look good. Not like this though. They were like next to each other. Great, like a neat looking building. We'll try that. I've never actually done this. I have not seen these buildings. Like 2 office buildings. Pretty neat. Ah, cool. We'll learn something together. So I'm gonna make them historical. Well, at least the outer edges, while the inside I will allow them to grow. So basically my idea is from the inside I want to be the tallest, while the outside it's going to look kind of like a pyramid. So it's going to go from the lowest building, mid-rise, then high-rise, exactly. That's why I'm going to make these guys outside historical. Of course, I'm watching out for those quarter circle buildings. And yeah, let's do some just minor detailing. That's easily done just by planting trees. Never underestimate the power of trees. The trees is actually the best way to make your city pop. Don't forget to do that. That has not zoned in yet. Oh, it's nearly flatlined. Alright, I'll just continue planting trees in other places. Okay, that should be enough for now. Always remember to look at this. So I stopped detailing. That's very important to stop detailing, because you only want to detail is if there is like nothing left to do, or when you're waiting for this to develop. So there's always a good time for everything. So there's a good time for zoning, a good time for detailing, and knowing when is probably really good. So so right now we're just gonna continue zoning because that's our demand right now. Begins to flatline, then we'll go back into D. So this side commercial. Let's turn off those traffic lights. Okay, so this literal fork, I have not decided how exactly to do this. I may actually just connect it that way. We're gonna have to see. So I'll keep this open for now, but let's at least fill in this side. Yeah, let's just fill that in so that at least this area appears to be closed. But did you see that monorail? Oh, look here. Let's have an example of that journey, as I say or mention. Oh, this looks slightly cracked. All right, I'm gonna have to fix that. But look at all these buildings, right? From the left, here we're gonna get through. Let's make it ×1 speed. You can see just one hot air balloon, which is pretty nice. And then from the distance, you can see our mountain with the ruined wall, and we're going down here. Let's zoom it, or let's change the angle, and we can see the key here. We got people walking. That looks pretty sweet. This is a very, very nice slow decline angle, and now we get to appreciate this building. We've got, it even has that bridge that connects to it. You can see the rest of that. Other park assets, and I love these fountains. So now we're at the station. Look at that, and then in the back, that thing is speaking in, and even further in the back, we have that administration building. As we're going, even this hospital is a feature right there. You barely see this, and has the word hospital. Of course, we're gonna continue going all the way there, but let's not get too distracted. We want to keep moving forward. So, and let's look at the view from here. So we have a variety of buildings. So we're using European buildings down here. We have some continuation of the European buildings there, and then we have some high rise here just to create that variety and, you know, to have that skyline feel. And also the reason why I'm using these European buildings instead of these guys is because of these. I mentioned this, I'm like a broken record when doing my videos, but it's always because I assume that there are new people watching. So for all my regulars, my apologies if I keep repeating things, but it's also a good thing, I believe, so that it will embed the idea to everyone on why I do things, and it may help improve your own gameplay. So the reason why I use these European mid-rise buildings is so that these other structures can be more prominent when looking at them, because if this was taller, then you will barely notice these guys, and they're like begging for attention. Yeah, so if these guys were here, you will not see them. This is why I use Euro buildings. Okay, so what are we doing now? Oh yes, we need to continue zoning. I'll zone on this side. Now on this side of the second level, I'm gonna pretty much do the same thing here. Oh, I did not plant trees, but that's okay, because our priority right now is to create commercial zone, because you always, again, want to keep moving forward. And I do not want to break that, but I guess I have to create this curve. Ooh, that's not a good thing. So this layout does not look anyway fancy, but you know, that never really matters when it comes to road layout, because all of that will just pretty much disappear after your buildings are constructed. Let's see, what am I missing? So we only have one cemetery. Always remember to add a few more, just to make sure that you don't not have any death waves. So the circle is here, so there should probably be a, which is great because it fills up this space as well. See that? Because this side will have trees, so that is actually a spot. Add in this guy as well. Now this, yeah, it may be too soon to be inputting. One is at a corner, which might actually be okay. See if we can squeeze that in. Oh. not. I'm kind of winging it. Do you have it planned? All right, let's just continue zoning this. Okay, more residential demands mean I could start filling this, which completes this whole area. And the only thing left to do is kind of, make sure we have the right historical buildings. This. Oh no, we have a problem. This thing is cracked. Yes, this thing is cracked. So it doesn't have the right corner. So I want this so you can see. How do we check that? On this. It should be a perfect corner. I don't know why it's zoning that way. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be broken, and yet it's not creating that corner building like this. Well, we're gonna have to see. No, I completely forgot. This is supposed to have the middle. They have to be demolished. Yeah, I have to put them in. My fault. Also, it was fixed. All right, that's good news. I was going to be a little irritated if that was not a corner building. Okay, so now we need more commercial demands. So we have that all set up on this side. I haven't figured out what to do on this end, but this will definitely be the high-rise building. Let's finalize the corner of it. But you know what? I messed up. These are not organic and local produce, so I forgot to change this. Yeah, it's not set as that, so that's my fault. Make sure we actually set it right. So they will have to like rezone themselves. That's fine. That was completely my derp. Alright, let's continue like kind of revamping this. We have the right historical while waiting for that to build. And yeah, let's do some decorating. Okay, so my pattern appears to be like zoning commercial along the arterial, but not directly on it. And I think I've mentioned this in the past, where the reason why I don't zone anything directly on the arterial is because you're gonna have tiny hiccups of traffic if there's anything on there. So for example, these commercial were attached to this, then some cars would stop just to deliver items or pick up items, and that will pretty much like grow along the entire end. So that's pretty much why our traffic is non-existent. See, we're still holding at 91, but now I stopped because on this side, so you would think that I would zone commercial here. However, I'm also, every time I build, I try to keep in mind of the noise pollution. So this might generate more noise because it's two blocks stacking. So let's actually check the noise. Actually, there's not. Wow, I was totally wrong. So I could actually place over here. Yeah, I could still put my commercial there. Let's, yeah, see, this is the one I was talking about, where since the stations generate so much noise and you can't put any residential near them, this is pretty much why I make them as a, the creator journey. Like, put your unique buildings, your ploppable buildings right in front of them, so at least they pretty much create like a sound buffer for our residents. So it's more than one reason why I did it. Okay, let's check our population. We're at 89. I think we started at 83. So this is pretty good progress. We're 90 and we have this much area left to fill in. And some of this, I'm trying not to touch that too much because this is our, oh my, this is not connected. This should be connected because this is our harbor where all our goods are coming in. That was a mistake, but it didn't harm the city too much. So this one is not permanent, so don't mind. Want it to connect basically, so do not pay attention to this. All right, let's continue zoning and try to get as much residents into the city before we end. So basically we just need to fill in this side and also that side. Also do some decorating, of course. Oh, I didn't see this. It actually cracked. This was not flat. Make a decision here. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't zone on this side so that create that. Yeah, let's de-zone this. I also dislike cracks, or how I call it, cracks on the earth. I want to avoid that completely, so just de-zone everything. It does not happen. We can just plant trees there. Completely fine. Eat all of this. Okay, let's check out the progress of that. Oops, names are appearing again. Hide that. There you go. Alright, so yep, that looks good. Yep. So we have a variety of buildings. So as I mentioned, I want like the tallest buildings to be in the middle. That happens to be an IT building. And Good. Yep. These are connected. People are walking up and down. Fantastic. Good. We just fill that in. Trees. We only have this little part here and the interior to decorate. Yeah, all right. Let's start with this and work our way to the right. Let's take a look at our progress. And there we are. Looking pretty decent. Yep. I like how it is. Let's check our top view. So you got a lot of variety. Let's plant a little trees, fill in this area. This will be zoned gradually, but for the most part, we are nearly complete. Let's check our traffic. Traffic is 92. Oh, it ticks up and down. Issue. Transportation is good. Let's check if any of our vehicles. Oh, this is what is that? That's supposed to be self-sufficient. That was my mistake. The reason why I want this to be self-sufficient is I kind of want to hide the mountain ever so slightly. So, which should be extended. Let's make this extend. Pretty much take the, well, we could take the whole top part. Take the whole top part. Yeah, I'm sorry, my zoning is yes. So the reason why it just keeps growing and kind of micromanaging the corners, especially when it grows later. Also invisible, so that's why I don't really mind too much how it looks, especially when you only see it for like 2 seconds then on. All right, so it's pretty much balanced. Our population is 91, which is very, very promising, and I'm pretty sure we could make this into 8k more pop, or 9. Yeah, 8 to 9K, and we should be good. I think we're gonna reach our goal of 100K pop. All right, so yeah, let's wrap up the designing in the middle. Not completely sure how to do this, but yeah, we'll start with the fences, trees. There we are. Here is our finished product. Let's names. Okay, there we are. Take a look. Let's actually wait for a train. There you go. Here's a train. There's a few. Alright, let's travel to it. 143 passengers, not too bad. Do it times 1 speed, and we can see, oh, our tornado airplanes or vulture planes are back. Oh, this is nice. You can even see the toll booth. See that? Even these are assets. Nice. Very cool. Then we start off with the high-rise residential buildings, water balloons in the back. Then we keep moving. Then we see this unique building that you barely notice, because usually when you build your campus, it's always deep within the campus and you did not notice them or appreciate them too. That includes this building. All right, as you reach the center, to the left, you see all these high-rise buildings, pretty much kind of covering our soil mountain. I really don't like this this texture of vanilla, but that's all right. That's what we have. And we have a stop here. How many people are going to get on? That's a pretty nice number of people. I really love this. Whoa, you could even see this level here. That's pretty cool. Balcony. Wow, nice. That's cool. I enjoyed that. Then to the right, oops, let's a little closer. There you see the fountains, and you got the Brandenburg Gate, the Pyramid of Safety. Then towards the back is the administration office, and to, of course, the sides is residential. And we have a few bunch of local and organic produce buildings, which are the lowest level or height buildings, which is like intentional. And as we continue our train line, oh, it's actually gonna stop. That's all right. Yes, and of course this is the bypass track, so we don't have to worry about train traffic, because train traffic is also a thing. I don't think it's actually gonna go forward. Yeah, we're waiting here for nothing. It's gonna go back. Yeah, because I remembered I did not make a connection in that direction. We're gonna have to do that in the future, but overall, yeah, here you go. Here's our build. Let's check the stats. Our stats, we ended at 93K population. Let's see, We have a great growth right here. As you notice, we still have a perfect graph. So this is considered a pretty decent graph because it does not spike downwards. It's always an incline with tiny dips, and that's the way you want to play it. Let's check our traffic. 91%. We're holding. We're gonna try to keep it at least 90% before we reach 100k pop. That is one of our other goals. Oh wait, we did not put our buses right here. Let me add that. Oops. Yeah, I completely derped that one. I only have these two, but I do not have like corner areas, so I need to add those. So I have one here. I want to put one on this side and one on this side. Where is a decent location? Actually, this will do. So I'm gonna use this area. Okay, so that I pretty much eyeballed, which is really fine. I just want to be able to add this right here. Hey, look at that. It's perfect. It fits like a glove. On the wrong direction though. I wanted it on the other end, but it's not allowing me. This could be a problem. I do not want a stop here. I actually want to stop on this. How do I need to extend this even further. Let's see if it's possible. Oh, that's weird. So it does have this section here, but it will not attach itself on that end. That is unfortunate. What do I do now? I do not want to build it here. You know what? This might actually be, yeah, too bad of a thing. Or maybe I'll just remove it completely. I'm not happy with that. I want to make sure I'm satisfied with where it's. So yeah, again, I want to place a station here, somewhere on this. Perhaps, actually, this one will do. We'll just get rid of this one. Yeah, this one here will do. Okay, so I am going to delete you. Apologies. They're going to convert you into bus stop. Okay, not too bad. Again, I do not want to make bus stops along this. From here on this side, let's see. Okay, I think that will work. This actually breaks some of the rules that I have. You don't have roads this close, especially going towards an exit. But we're gonna see. If this starts to generate problems, I'm gonna have to move for now and keep that. Let's make sure that our traffic light is turned off. Yep, there's one here. Okay, let's start connecting our bus routes. One there, and for here, I'll put her here. Actually, there. Then here, put it toward that end, and it loops back around. Then we'll go the other direction. Okay, that should function properly. Of course, the buses are emerging. And there you go. This is our complete build. Okay, we have some garbage issues, but our garbage facilities are right here. And yeah, there you go. So we have our top, our second level. We have some high-rise buildings here. Yeah, this will be picked up eventually. And we have people crossing, right? Nope, not a lot of people. I think I missed to add in more pedestrian paths. And yeah, I completely missed. So don't forget to add that. Just find locations where there are crosswalks. There you go. So people are starting to walk over. Okay, yeah, very, very busy. Nice. Working here. So this, we already have one there. So since this is an open space, you know, why not? Add another there. Yeah, here's another open space. Even though there's no crosswalk on the other side, at least we're making use of that empty space. This, we already have trees around it. This side, we completely forgot, so add more. I really like this feature also, this monorail going down, especially how I use the 2-lane road with track. This is of course vanilla. Not sure which DLC it's from. I also make use of this sometimes. I made this into a 6-lane road with bus because we have buses, but it doesn't seem to be filling in. So let's actually change that road into something else. Bus and taxi. Actually, let's try this one. There you go. It's a little redundant though because we have like trees on the side and on the middle. So let's find something else. Bicycle lanes. If you have been watching the series, you may notice that I do not use bikes, which is not recommended. You should have bicycle lanes in your city. Like these things here should probably be bicycles, but I do not do that to it. It's a unspoken challenge that I have as well. So bikes will also help reduce traffic throughout your city because a cyclist can actually travel from one end, like for example from here, he is willing to cycle all the way to the other. That means that's one less car on the road. But since we are dealing, or we handle traffic so well, bicycle lanes is not really necessary because yeah, we have a great road network. We have sufficient highways, transportation all around the city. So we don't have to worry about things like that. And also that is also why we don't have tunnels in our city, because it is also not necessary. We could also do without roundabouts completely, but like in season one of my series, there was no roundabouts. But on this part, since it's a semi-European build, I built in a few, but they're more like aesthetic roundabouts. They're not there to improve traffic. They're just, I don't know, an aesthetic. How many roundabouts do I have? 1, 2. Yeah, 2. Yeah, so you could kind of say that this is without any roundabouts. 3. Okay, we have one tiny one, right? 3 and 4. This is not even really a roundabout. I just placed that in. Any case, that is our build for today. So we are at 94k. We only are like 5k shy of reaching 100, and I think we're pretty confident that we'll reach that towards the end. In any case, that is it for today's video. This is Captain Obvious. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next video.